This is a story about Paul, Cameron, and Sarah. Paul and Sarah were brother and sister. Cameron was Paul's best friend. They knew someone in this land, but they got lost. They could not figure out where they were. But they called this land the East Land. That's just what they call it. These are their stories. Okay, they got a campfire going and it was nighttime. They always had dinner. Dinner was quite delicious. They had raw ham. It was quite delicious indeed. Now they heard noises coming outside. Paul said, "Do you have to go investigate?" They said, "No, Paul, don't. It's not important." Paul said, "I guess so. I will not investigate that." Okay. They put the fire out and then went in the cave. They went to sleep. They saw the noises, but they could not say what noises are. But they tried to get to sleep anyway, and they just ignored the noises. Okay, it was the next day. Did they hear noises? The answer is no. They were out, they were dressed. They said they had breakfast. They just had fruit for breakfast. Afterwards, they just socialized a bit and said what they would do for the rest of the day. They basically decided it was an awesome day. Let's go for a walk. And that's what they said they do. They're going to go for a little walk. Okay. On their walk, they reached the open. Did they walk along the beach? The answer is no. They did not want to walk along the beach. They started to go back home, and that's what they decided to do. They started to go back home because of that reason. Okay, it was nighttime. They always had dinner with again, like the night before, they heard noises. This time, Paul started to investigate, and this time he was going to bring a weapon to try to kill who was killing the motorhead, or try to figure out why he was killing the motorhead. That's what Paul was going to do. Okay, the noise had stopped. There was no noise. Then Paul looked up in the sky. He looked up in the sky. He noticed the moon up in the sky. He couldn't figure out why the moon was shining so brightly. So he looked at it some more. And suddenly, something was about to happen. Paul did not know what was going on. He felt really weird, like something was about to happen. And then it did happen. Paul basically noticed a star. What was wrong with the star? Was it alive? It wasn't. But he felt it, but it felt warm like it was alive. What was the problem? He didn't know. And then something was about to happen again when he touched it some more. Okay, the next thing happened was that everything turned black. The star was gone. What the heck did it happen? He did not know. Paul decided he had to figure out how to get out of this really mess he got himself into. He did not know how to get out, but he assumed if he walked forward, he'll get out, and that's what he decided to do. The next thing happened was that Paul found himself basically on the surface. He's back in the line he was supposed to be in. So he decided to go in the cave, and that's what he decided to do. Paul basically said, "Guys, I'm back. I'm back." They didn't answer. Paul noticed something. They were asleep. They always put the fire out, right? So they were asleep. So Paul basically said he would go to sleep, and that's what he said he would do. When Paul went to sleep, he noticed something. The noises were gone. There were no more noises at all. Paul didn't know what he did to make the noises go away, but he knew he did something. Either that or whatever caused the noises won't cause noises anymore. So he basically decided to basically go to sleep, and that's what he said to do. He was going to go to sleep. Okay, it was the next day. The sun was shining brightly that day. It was a pretty awesome day. Like usual, they got up, they got dressed, they had breakfast, which was quite delicious. Afterwards, they just self like a bit and decided what to do the rest of the day. And this is basically where this movie ends for now.